Hey, howdy, hi, hello, hola, privyet, bonjour, guten tag. What is up, Vikings? How goes it? Hopefully you all had a great week or weekend, and that your home gang is going well. So, real quick, let me throw some stuff out there. Real quick, membership shout out to Gwyn, Boomer, Modib, Cats, Snowman TG, and Yellow. Thank you guys for being continued paid members and supporters of the channel. If you guys are interested in becoming paid members, you can go to, holy crap, 1 second. You can go to the Lodge, Berserker Bones Lodge, merch, memberships, and more. Memberships are down here. They link you directly to membership chat in Discord. So, on Thursday, we discussed the, this last stream, right here, we discussed the training KvK, the points that essentially made T9 king in KvK, regardless to what you did, as far as, like, you know, if you lost a T9, you got 1,000 points. If you trained a T9, 1,000 points. If you killed a T9, 1,000 points. There were a lot of people that really did not like that. I personally, on one side, didn't necessarily care because, I mean, I don't have T9 unlocked. However, the fact that it was, like, more or less taking away from KvK itself, and meaning, like, you no longer necessarily had to fight. It was those who had the most chaos or the most option to burn T9s, essentially won. So, there was a thing where people were not necessarily seeing or understanding the increased rewards. We weren't told what the increased rewards would be beforehand. There was no comparison, and there was really no, like, overall explanation as far as what would be increased. We didn't know if the gold tiles would be increased, which, to my understanding, the gold tiles themselves from KvK were not increased. In years past, we have seen them increased exponentially, to the tune of, like, I mean, 100 to 200 million per tile kind of thing. And this time, it was the checkpoints themselves that changed. Now, a member of Proxy turned in a, let me move this, turned in a support ticket stating they did not see the increased rewards. This was essentially the response from the support team. It says, we have thoroughly checked your request and could not confirm the game process's functioning error. The competition's reward was increased dramatically. So, I did a side-by-side comparison to see what necessarily is considered a dramatic increase in rewards. And that's what I will roughly be going over today. If you guys won KvK, congratulations. If you played KvK and you lost, my condolences. Personally, I did absolutely nada in KvK. I think, in fact, I hit a Uber at some point, or maybe a ghost. But that was it. I really didn't do anything, and I just wasn't that real pressed by it. So, anyways, this is going to be a side-by-side comparison on what is considered dramatically increased rewards. Hello! If you guys like the content, please hit the like and the subscribe button if you have not already. Some of this is going to be humorous, and so just take it at that. Don't take this as me being like, hey, this is jacked up. Take this as me finding a reason to laugh. So, they explain furthermore in the response from the support team each checkpoint and how it was changed. So, now, instead of like running through this entire thing and hoping you guys can roughly get the picture of the comparison of what we normally get versus what we got this time, I merely did a real quick boom. This is this. So, let me like size this up so you guys can roughly see what I'm talking about, and we'll go from there. Oh, Lord. All right. All right. So, I've seen it called drastically increased. I've seen it called dramatically increased. But this is what we will be like roughly dealing with. Now, I did do some like brief little like math on this. So you guys can like take that at what it is. It's not necessarily me doing the math as much as it is the AI doing the math because, well, to be honest, I'm lazy and wasn't going to sit here and calculate out every little difference between the two. So, normal checkpoints on the left, drastically or dramatically increased checkpoints on the right. We will go through this. Basically, checkpoint 1.6 million gold is what we get normally. 15 million gold is what we got on the drastically increased. That comes out to 1.34% difference. Let me do this. There. 1.34. Now, keep that in mind because that number does slightly change. So, if 1.34 is dramatically or drastically different, okay, all right, I'm sorry. I'm going to giggle periodically throughout this. You'll notice, though, that if 1.34 is drastically and dramatically different, you'll notice the difference in the checkpoints going down through. So, going to checkpoint 2, 1,950 24-hour boosts is normal, and 5,000 times 5,000 VIP. Great for people that have not maxed VIP, like myself, because of the simple fact of, well, every little bit of VIP helps, especially when you're up into the trillions. Let me see. That would have been 25 million VIP points. Now, 25 million VIP is not going to get you very far for one. I mean, it just kind of is what it is. It's a drop in the bucket. But when the bucket has holes, it is what it is. So, normally, 1,950 24-hour boosts and 25, what amounts to 25 million VIP. It was drastically, dramatically changed to 15K 24-hour boosts. So, 15K days. That comes out to roughly a point. Well, wait a minute. Oh, let me do the math again, because this one's not mathing out right. Divide it by 1950. That comes out to a 7.6%. 7.6%. That comes out to a 7.6% increase in boosts. Now, if all of the checkpoints had consistently followed this same math, mind you, 7.6% increase. Not 1.34, 7.6. If all of them had followed a 7.6% increase all the way up, I could see it being potentially drastically increased. Not dramatically, but drastically. So, going down. Checkpoint 3. So, here's where things get kind of wonky. So we didn't get VIP in checkpoint 2 like we normally get, but we got it in checkpoint 3, and we didn't get gold, which we normally get. The gold percent roughly there is 8 million gold and 50 runic stones. 50, not 50k, not 500, 50. Versus the drastically increased VIP of 100,000 times 5,000, which roughly comes out to $500 million. So, compared to the checkpoint higher, yes, the 500 million is a roughly 2.3% increase, but it's not that 7.6% increase. Going down again. Checkpoint 4. Right here. 50k times 5,000 VIP and 1,000 times 2,000 shaman energy. That would roughly come out to a 2.8% again. So, now we've gone from 1.34 to 7.6 to 2.32, I think, percent. So it's not even like, hello! It doesn't even math out all the way through. The boosts again in checkpoint 5 came out to 1,950 24-hour boosts versus 35k in the dramatically increased. That difference is 17.9. This, I think, five. Okay, there we go. The 17.9%, I think, is like the biggest increase in boosts, mind you, that this entire thing has. 17.9% increase. Now, I don't know if I can really justify calling that a dramatic increase in boosts, or a drastic, even at that point. I think 17.9%, roughly 35k 24-hour boosts. Let me see. Give me 1 second. Let me demonstrate something here, real quick. Okay, so 35k 24-hour boosts doesn't even cover roughly unboosted training of 165 million T8. In fact, I think, let me see, T4 maybe? Maybe? Possibly? It would roughly cover the 165 million T4. Roughly. That's unboosted, unreputed not training geared, etc. So it would cover roughly 165 million T4 by checkpoint 5. So, moving on. I mean, as opposed to the boost before, that would roughly cover, I think, like 165 mil unboosted T2. So, moving forward with this. Checkpoint 8, 13 million gold is normal, 70 million gold is what was given. That again follows a... That's a 5.38% increase. So now we've gone from 17.9 to 5.3. In gold, which we now epically need way more of than almost anything else aside from marble or chaos elements. Checkpoint 7. Oh, wrong mouse. Checkpoint 7. 10k runic coins, 200 all for 20k all for marble, 150 runic stone, 1 all for crystal, 2,400 3-day boosts. So what we see in the drastic or dramatic increase here, 100k runic coins, that's roughly 1.2, I think. Oh, I closed my calculator. That's a 10% increase in runic coins between the two, which is good. I mean, considering the fact that there is going to be things such as ruler in the seasonal store coming up. The all for marble went to 20k, so that relatively stayed the same. The runic stones were completely taken out. VIP was given, which comes out to 1 billion VIP and 60 24-hour boosts. So, if you take the 2,000... Yeah, by the time you get to checkpoint 7, the rewards look better. This comes out to 2,400 multiplied by 72. Comes out to 172,000 hours. 24. Okay, so you get 172,000 hours out of the 3-day boost. You get 1.4 million out of the 60 or the 60k 24-hour boost. So by the time you get to checkpoint 7 is where you really start to see a noticeable difference between the two as far as what could be considered a steady, I would say a steady increase, not necessarily a dramatic or a drastic increase, but it follows closer to that 17.9% that we saw earlier on the increase in boosts. Coming down to checkpoint 10. No shaman power, but 500k times 5,000 VIP versus 25k times 5,000 VIP. That again follows about a 4.9% increase in the amount of VIP points given, which is way better. Again, checkpoint 9, we see 4,200 3-day boost versus 90k 24-hour boost. That again follows closer to that 17 to 18% increase that we saw back all the way on like checkpoint 5. And then finally, checkpoint 10. So the final checkpoint in personals, let me move this to here. The final checkpoint in personals for the entire KvK T9 whatever you want to call it. There are words in there in my head that I cannot necessarily say on YouTube. But anyways, so here, checkpoint 10. 200K or 200 million gold versus the 50 million that we normally see. 200K runic coins versus the 20K runic coins. So about a 10% increase as far as runic coins versus what we normally get. And all for marble, 300. Oh wait, one all for marble is what that should be on this side. One all for marble also on that side versus oh wait, sorry. That was 80K all for marble. My bad. 55K all for marble on this side, 80K all for marble on this side. So roughly a 1.7% increase there, which is always good considering the fact we can always use way more marble. 500 runic stones versus 300 runic stones, a 200 increase there. 2 all for crystals versus 1. 300K times 5,000 VIP is normal. It drops down to 200K times 5,000 VIP, so you get less VIP on the enhanced rewards or the dramatically increased rewards than we've seen in the normal checkpoint 10. But 90K 24-hour boosts versus the 4,200 3-day boosts. That does follow the same checkpoint previously, just now you get more gold and other stuff out of it too. So, now, I need to think how to word this. So, now, what I believe would be better to encompass, more or less, the entirety of being considered dramatically or drastically, either way, increased rewards, and that's if I'm going off of this phrase right here, increased dramatically. I cannot overlay that or highlight it. Would if I could. But if I was going to follow through and be like, hey, these are all consistent, dramatically increased rewards, I would hope and pray that all of them would follow the same percentage increase. If you look back at like what I was saying, they follow a rough, weird, odd pattern of like anywhere from 1.3 to 2.4 to 17.9 to 5.6 to 4.3% across the board. Instead, it needs to be like a set increase of everything as far as like, you know, whether if 17.9% is just way too drastic, way too dramatic, gives us way too much stuff, then I would say it probably needs to change to roughly like 13.2 or whatever like percentage can be agreed upon is great across the board. I would like to see like potentially more gold in these, considering the fact everybody needs gold. Well, I don't need gold at this point. I have 9.5 trillion. But everybody needs more gold, more marble. Those that don't have VIP max need more VIP in general versus the amount that is currently being given. These checkpoints right here, as far as what I went over for the drastically increased. This whole column we just went through, I would personally, if they want to see, if like the whole point is to get more people playing KvK, to get more interest in KvK in general, because KvK is literally the very last of like the oldest events that we have, this should be, in my opinion, the standard reward for KvK. This whole column right here, this normal stuff. Get rid of it. Gone. Toss it out. If you want to rebalance KvK and get way more interest in it, I personally would consider this drastically increased or dramatically increased or exponentially increased, however you want to look at it, whatever words you want to apply to this. I would personally hope that these right here in the overall balance of things, this new what we had for KvK, I would honestly think that this right here would be the new normal. Like, rebalancing KvK to give us these rewards right here would be awesome. They would be phenomenal. They are exactly what I personally would like to see in the event. Not necessarily thrown at us for a holiday event or a, these are going to be what you need to work towards by killing T9, either losing them or finding them to kill or etc., etc., etc. These are what I personally believe would rebalance KvK in order to be a more aptly played event. I also would get rid of training a single thing and get rid of the losing a single thing. We shouldn't necessarily get points for using the troops that we are trying to kill other troops. I don't like necessarily personally agree with the whole thing of lose a tier of troop and get the same points as if you kill that tier of troop. Why? Because it is a lot harder to kill somebody's higher tier troops than it is to lose the troop. Any of us can log in and throw higher tier troops around, but it takes way more work to get to those higher tier troops with people having the lower tier troops for saturation that they have versus the losing the higher tier troops. Anybody can throw troops, not necessarily anybody can kill other troops. So, those are just personally what I see. Now, whether these rebalances will remain in effect or not, I believe this was literally just for the month of December as far as a holiday increase. They've done that several years back. They increased the gold tiles exponentially for the month of December. That was what most of us were believing were going to be done this time. However, everything I have heard says that the gold tiles remain the same. But yeah, home gang's the same. We have holiday Asgards coming up. So like, I honestly, I wouldn't necessarily, like, I would say this right here is a step in the right direction. But I think that is a step in the right direction for a normal event. I get like understanding game balance. I get understanding reworking and balancing the checkpoints as we go along. But the T9 update was huge. Palace level 50, huge. The amount of gold, amount of marble needed on top of just prior recently to having that, the VIP update. And the VIP update is something that still there are quite a few people working on. Not everybody has higher level VIPs. I mean, me, myself, I'm only just now coming up to like 83. So, and I know several people that are still in the 70s. So like, I think like, honestly, these checkpoints would be phenomenal if when rebalancing the game, these checkpoints became the new normal. If you want to see more of like a dramatic increase or a drastic increase that entice more people to play the events, get people into the events and close their checkpoints, that 17.9% increase needs to be like across the board. Not just like on boosts, not just on this or that, but like there needs to be a happy medium somewhere in there that increases them all exponentially by a percentage. That would be like my personal opinion again. Take that for what you will. And a lot of this will be seen as like comedy or me blowing off steam or me not being happy or me complaining. Personally, I rarely close my personals. So it's not something like I am horribly like pressed about. I don't play through a lot of personals in my events, period. If I close them, I close them. If I don't, I don't. But in order to entice more people to close their personals, this should be right here, I believe, in my opinion, the aim for what checkpoints need to be. Personal opinion there. End of rant. But That is what was considered drastically or dramatically increased checkpoints. I almost cannot believe that phrase was used. Increased dramatically. I go through, when I train, I probably go through close to 20% more boosts than I would have gotten even getting like up to checkpoint 10. Personally, when I train quite a bit. I mean, like I train heavy. So, and then some people still play influence increase, where they decrease their influence size in general. So, like, there is that. Now, I understand all of this is subjective. They did say that there will be a rebalancing of checkpoints in the future, and that we are coming up, on some rebalancing things. But, like, to be honest, when this let me see. Let me find that's what I was looking at. With this right here, I need, since you guys probably cannot see the numbers, 1M. This right here. For Watchtower level 45, 1 million marble, 4.5 billion gold. It will take me until Jotunheim to get that 1 million marble. And that's closing personals, scoring in every single clan event that I possibly can. And the 4.5 billion gold, I would probably earn that. I mean, like, you can earn that in Jotunheim itself, because Jotunheim, if you close all your personals, you get roughly 32 to 35 billion gold possible. And that's without ranking. So, I mean, like, you can get that gold, and if you close all of your personals, you might end up with 1 million marble. So, if you want to see more checkpoints be apt as far as, like, what people want to earn, we need to be able to earn way more marble as far as checkpoints without just having to spend them in the bank. The bank offers, from what I have been told, I personally, this is not my opinion, and I personally have not, yes, my clan does close everything. And that's me having to work until Jotunheim to get that much marble. So, what I'm getting at there is, my clan aside, if you want to see more people get interacting into the game, the checkpoints need to be higher in order to earn the things we need, potentially, at least like 80% of what we need. Like, that's like where a lot of people are stalled. Honestly, the current leagues, if you look at the leagues, as far as 40 Palace level 42, 43, I think that is still League of Odin. I'm at 45 Palace level, which puts me in League of Asgard, for my personals, which, again, like, I don't close this stuff. It's League of Adepts for a lot of stuff. But a lot of the people in League of Odin or League of Asgard, depending on the event that you are looking at, are literally stuck at Palace level 42 to 43. Why? Marble. Marble and gold. You can get a lot of marble, or you can get a lot of gold. You cannot seem to get enough of both. Like, the whole thing that, honestly, we need to see, like, let me see, what's mine? I have like 401k marble. I cannot do a single building that I need to go up with that. Not a single one. So, like, honestly, a lot of people in the lower clans, smaller clans, clans that do not play as heavily competitive as my clan, for instance, are stuck in the same place. They cannot get enough marble, and once they get enough marble, they don't have enough gold. So, honestly, I think the checkpoints should be matched up to roughly like 80%. If you can get 80% of needed. Now, this is subjective. This is subjective, mind you. If you can get 80% of what is needed out of checkpoints reasonably, and that's why I say it's subjective. Everybody's going to look at that and be like, well, okay, so I need this much for all of these levels. Reasonably, I should be able to get 80% of all of that out of these levels. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is my reasonable 80% would be if, like, so say I play my heart out in KvK, CVC, like say 3 events. So if in 3 events, if in 3 events I could get roughly, I don't need your ID. Why are you sending me your game ID? If in 3 events I could get roughly and we'll split that in half by 2.4 B gold. Okay. If I could get that, if I could get roughly 80k marble or 800k marble and 2.4 billion gold, average of 3 maxed personal events. Now, keep in mind that, like, you know, I am League of Adepts for some of my personals. So, again, it would all be subjective to League right here. If I could get 800k marble and 2.4 billion gold average out of 3 maxed personal events, I honestly might try to max my checkpoints way harder than I do. To be honest, I don't care about resurrecting troops anymore. I don't personally care about training. Why? Because I sit fat anyway. I really don't care about, like, enemy hunt, for instance. But if I could get a grand total of 800k marble and 2.4 billion gold out of maxing these 3 events, I would honestly probably find a way to be way more interested in them, balance them out into my schedule on top of finding a way to close them. It would push me to want it. And then if you go in and you look at, like, the ranking, 1 billion gold. So that would change to roughly, like, you know, that would all go exponentially bigger, which means, like, that would mean there would be way more into it for people to push ranking aside from, like, Olympian if they don't have Olympian. Also, that goes into Olympian where, like, if, say, I would like to see this across every event, not just Jotunheim, but, like, if, say, like, the top 10. Say the top 10 in Odin, from Odin to Adepts. Say the top 10 all have maxed Olympian. It would be nice if it literally trickled down to the next top 10. Like, so then it would be 11 through 20. So there would still be a chance for those people to get an Olympian achievement. Instead of, like, the way it is currently. Those are what I believe would be, like, the best way to, like, the best way to balance this out more and get way more people interested. Obviously, I do not know what the rebalancing will be. Hello! I do not know what the rebalancing will be, but personally, like, this right here, I think, is way more to a step in the direction of what we would like to see for normal checkpoints versus what we would consider drastically and dramatically increased. Take that for what you will. But like, honestly, the normal checkpoints to me don't PM to me. Where did you PM me? Okay. Yes, thank you. Yes. The that was like roughly dividing the two and multiplying it by, I think, 1.5. I can't remember. The AI did the math first. So 837%. So like roughly roughly this is like what we would like to see the increase as far as like normal checkpoints. So I don't know necessarily if like I don't know necessarily if like this is what we will see for a precursor in the future. You're right. It is. It comes out to 837. My math was way off. Ooh! Thank you, Ragnar! I'll do this. Bam. Okay. So, like, if honestly the like overall checkpoints all were balanced in this way, and I'm not saying like an 8.837% general overall increase, but if they all got a significantly higher increase, you might see more people care about their personals. Now, like the bank is an entirely different scenario here. Like, so I haven't spent in roughly, I don't know how long, but like this right here, $4.99 for 46.8. Yeah, 46.8 billion gold and 100k all for marble for $5. That right there should be a 10th checkpoint in an event, in my personal opinion. If someone chooses to therefore go and buy like this or this, that's entirely different and irrelative. If they want more than what the pack offers, then than what the checkpoints offer, then they should probably consider changing the bank, reworking it, and reworking the checkpoints at the same time. But like that's just what I'm saying. Like there is a potential need for all of these checkpoints, in my opinion, to be changed to what was considered drastically and dramatically. Again, my opinion, take it or leave it. But anyways, that is roughly all I had for today. I hope you guys enjoyed this. Please hit the like and the subscribe button if you haven't already. I will be kind of leaving this at this. See, like, that's what I mean. The standard reward, 830%, is amazing compared to the standard reward. That dramatic or drastic increase, if that became the new standard, there would be a lot more people working to close their events. It would help people get their palace level up, their building up, and not necessarily have the pressure to spend, but the option to spend if they wanted more stuff. Like, if you want to do more than one building, buy marble. If you're fine with maxing personals and doing one building at a time, as long as you have the gold and the marbles supplied from your checkpoints, then so be it. But it would keep progress potentially moving forward, and we wouldn't necessarily see like flooded leagues of Odin currently, which I think like a good 70% of the game is probably in League of Odin currently. So, hello! Anyways, that is all I had for today. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you are watching this later and you find it interesting, drop it in the comments below. You guys also that chilled with me for the last like hour, drop in the comments below of this live stream and let me know what you think. If you guys enjoy this, I will try to come up with more stuff as far as like content that does comparisons for things in the upcoming. Anyways, thank you guys for being here today. If you haven't already, hit the like and the subscribe button. If you can, please check out the merch memberships and more shop. Yes, I will do a battle royale before we go. Check out the merch memberships and more shop. I will be potentially offering some holiday deals coming up and maybe some different merch. Battle royale starting now. Good luck in home gang. If you guys have not played already, if you have played, I hope you had fun and won. Thank you guys for being here today. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Stay warm if you have cold weather. Stay cool if you have hot. Do not forget to go outside and touch some grass. Be safe. Stay healthy. I will see you guys on the next live stream and around the community. Thanks for watching.